My son said I was too old. He said I was too slow. He said I was a problem. So he put me in a nursing home. I didn't say yes. He moved into my house. He acted like I was gone forever. But I was not lost. I was not done. He thought I would just disappear. But I was making a plan. It was a plan he would feel. He would feel it every time he opened his door. This is how I made him sorry. He was sorry he ever thought his mom was weak. I raised my son. His name was Mark. My hands worked hard for him. My heart loved him very much. Mark was all I had. My husband had died. I cleaned floors until my knees hurt. I skipped meals when I had little money. I sold my special ring to buy him a suit for school. I never asked him to say thank you. I just thought he would love me back. One day, I fell down in the kitchen. I didn't think it was bad. Maybe my blood sugar was low. I fell because I stood too long and didn't eat. Mark came that night. His wife, Lisa, was with him. They acted like they cared. "Mom, we just want what's good for you," Mark said. Lisa nodded her head. She looked like she had practiced. They said they would help me with my papers. Mark said, "Put your documents in order." It was like I was already almost gone. They brought me food. They asked about old papers. They kept saying, "It must be hard to keep up a house when you're old." I didn't know they had talked to a lawyer behind my back. I didn't know they told people next door that I was losing my mind. I didn't know Lisa had already started to change the locks on my doors. A week later, they asked me to lunch. "Just us three," Mark smiled. "You need a break. We'll make you happy." I didn't take a bag. I didn't bring my phone charger. I didn't even wear my nice shoes. They took me to a place. It had light brown walls. There were plastic flowers in the hall. "Just for a few days," Mark said. "Rest. The nurse will help you." He gave me a tight hug. It felt real. Lisa kissed my face. Her lip gloss felt cold. Then they walked out. They never came back. My room had no pictures of my family. No calendar, no books, just one small dresser and a bed I didn't choose. I asked the nurse for a phone. I wanted to call my son. She said, "You have to wait for visiting time." I told her, "He just left." She looked confused. Then she showed me a paper. My name was on it. His name was signed. Boxes were checked. It said he agreed to my care. It said I was staying there. He had put me in this place. I sat on the edge of the strange bed. My hands were together like in church. I looked at the floor. I tried not to shake, but I shook anyway. The next morning, I asked to talk to the head of the place. I told her there was a mistake. I was not losing my mind. I was not dying. She looked at me like I was a ghost asking to come back to life. Your son said you're not safe alone, she said. He said you get confused sometimes. She told me they expected me to stay for a long time. I wanted to yell, but I didn't. Something deep inside told me that yelling would just show them they were right. So I waited. I waited in that small room for 3 days. On the 4th day, I finally got a phone. I called Mark. It went straight to his answering machine. I called again and again. Then I tried Lisa. Her phone rang once. Then it stopped. She had blocked me. The same woman who cried in my kitchen about how hard marriage was had blocked me. I sat in that hard chair. I looked out the window. There was a yard full of old people. Some barely knew their names. Some drooled. Some yelled at nothing. Some just stared. I thought, is this how I end? After all I gave, after I held back so much to make sure he had a good future? No, just no. That night I asked the nurse for a pen and a small notebook. I told her I liked to write in a diary. She smiled nicely. She brought me a small book from the activity closet. I didn't write poems. I didn't write prayers. I wrote facts. I wrote dates. I wrote bank deals. I wrote account numbers. I wrote down people I remembered. I wrote down houses I still owned. I wrote down people I could call. My lawyer, Maria Lopez, hadn't heard from me in 2 years, but she never took me off her list of clients. I wrote everything down. It was like a battle plan, because it was one. I was not confused. I was not imagining things, and I was certainly not dead. They thought I wouldn't notice my bank account was frozen. They thought I wouldn't see my name was gone from my own bills. They thought that just because I was old, I couldn't fight. But I raised a man. I lived through a difficult marriage. I lived through cancer. No, I was going to live through this too. But I would not just live through it. I would come back. And when I did, I wouldn't ask for my house keys back. I would sell the whole house. And I would buy the house next door. Just so I could watch Mark's face every morning he stepped outside, thinking he had won. Because sometimes the quietest woman in the room is just waiting for her time, and my time was coming. Maria Lopez didn't answer my first call. I didn't blame her. It had been years, but I left a clear message. Maria, this is Emily Brown. My son used my name to do something wrong. He put me in a nursing home. I still have access to our money and papers. Call me. She called me before lunch the next day. Mrs. Brown, she asked, surprised, are you safe? I am as safe as a woman can be when her only child locks her away and thinks she will not fight back, I said. She told me to tell her everything, so I did. Maria came to see me that Friday. She drove 3 hours in the rain. She walked right into the home and told the nurse that she was my lawyer. The staff got scared. The manager tried to explain that they were doing what was best. But Maria didn't listen. She came into my room with her bag and a strong look. You're not staying here another week, she said. If they cause trouble, we'll sue them too. It felt like I could finally breathe. We talked about everything. The papers Mark changed, the permission I never signed, the house deed that still had only my name on it, and the shared bank account. Mark thought I forgot. I'd never taken his name off it, but he didn't know I could still use it. I'd been quiet for too long. First, she said, we take away all the control he thinks he has. In a few days, Maria went to court. She asked the judge to stop the false papers Mark used. We used a note from the doctor there. It said I was not confused. We started a case against Mark. He used my money wrong. He lied about legal papers, and we stopped the money in the bank account. I left the nursing home on a Wednesday. No goodbyes, just a bag of clothes Maria bought me. I walked out the front door slowly. Freedom felt wonderful. We didn't go back to my house. I didn't want to. Maria booked us a nice room at a hotel for the weekend. We needed to plan what to do next. Mark didn't know I was out yet, but he would soon. That weekend, Maria started a new court case. She asked the court to make him sell the house. Mark was living in a house he didn't own, and I hadn't said he could stay. We had the right to make him sell it. If he didn't leave, the police would make him. The day came. Mark stood in the house. He looked angry. Emily stood strong. You can't be serious, he yelled. You are kicking me out of my own house. Emily took a slow breath. You mean the house you threw me out of? She said. Mark was quiet. I never signed those papers, Emily went on. You wrote my name. You took my money. You tried to make me disappear. That's not what happened, Mark said. Yes, it is, Emily said. I was put in that home. No warning, no clothes. You lied to me. You used me. You broke the law. She looked at him. So, yes, Mark, I am serious. Emily bought the house next door. She did it because she liked the view from there. Mark looked at her. You're trying to shame me, he said. Emily shook her head. No, Mark, she said. That part already happened. You did that. You called me a problem. He looked away. I raised you alone, she said. I carried you through everything. And when I needed help, You put me in a room with strangers. It's hard to feel bad for a man who took your honor, a man who buried you alive. But it's also hard to hate the son you once held close, the son you sang to when big storms hit. Love is not simple.